This is how Everdale used to look, but in just 2 years we have seen an astronomical amount of changes to the game, not only from name changes, but to major design changes. Hey guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash with Style, and today we're going to be looking a little bit at the history of Everdale. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail on this, because I did cover a lot of the history of Everdale in my 1 year of Everdale video, just a few videos back. I will leave a link to that in the pinned comment if you guys do want to check it out. There are lots of pretty cool information in there, as well as a little bit of my progress as a content creator. But let's dive straight into the nitty gritty. So first things first, Everdale was not always called Everdale. It actually used to be called Valleys and Villages. Now this was a game released by an alternate company of Supercell's called Osmium Interactive. Now they released Valleys and Villages on the 21st of September 2020, so that's actually around 2 years ago, which is pretty crazy because when most people are thinking of Everdale now, they believe it's only been out for 1 year, but they actually had it out in alpha with this kind of alternate company, not under the Supercell banner, for a full year in alpha before they took it to beta and renamed it Everdale. So let's jump straight into Valleys and Villages. What were the differences between it and the game we have today? Well, there were some major differences in how things look. As you can see, we have some gameplay of how Valleys and Villages actually looked when you first logged into the game. When you first started up a brand new account, you'll see there are quite a lot of major changes, not only how things visually look, but also a few of the things you actually have to do at the start of the game. You'll notice you actually have to build the village kitchen and build that first pumpkin patch, which is something you don't have to do now. Those just kind of come in and, well, you just have them at the start of the game and you start building from there. Valleys and Villages is a really interesting take for me because a lot of the core fundamentals of the game we see in Everdale today actually were implemented all the way back in alpha. Not a huge amount has changed in the way the game actually works. We've just seen a lot of design and art changes to the game. Of course, there has been a few functionality changes along the way, but mainly it has been art and design changes we have seen. So I want to compare how Valleys and Villages looked in the early days to what Everdale kind of looks now. Is there any things in the village that still look the same, or is everything completely different? On the screen right now we have a screenshot of lots of different buildings. So this is what a village might have used to have looked like in the olden days of Valleys and Villages, and you'll see pretty much everything here has actually had a design change, whether that's color or just the look of it. We have seen quite a lot of development in the general styling of the game from what we have here to what we have here. I must say, the old version of Everdale, when it was V&V, it was actually pretty bright in your face, very vibrant, whereas they've kind of gone for a few more pastel colors. They've toned the game down a little bit, which I think goes a lot better with the general theme of calm and relaxing vibes, whereas this one felt quite in your face, really hardcore, if you can get hardcore in a game like this. So moving through now into the valley, we have seen a huge amount of changes over here as well, and in fact nearly every single building and resource field here in the valley has also been changed. So with big thanks to Supersite, I have jumped in and been able to find some of the earliest content I can find of Valleys and Villages. He did stream a lot of this, and if you guys want to check him out, I will leave a link down in the description to his YouTube channel. So here he is able to showcase us how a few of these buildings looked. Now of course he's not going to stop for too long on each one, because in fact he was just actively playing the game on a live stream, but I will showcase it so you guys can see how some of the content did look back in the V&V days. Now the look of absolutely everything here has pretty much changed, and this screenshot you guys can see on screen right now has some really interesting design changes. We see the harbour itself has had a pretty major overhaul, especially when it does come to those ships. These ones in this picture did look a little bit bland, whereas the ones we have now are really nice and fresh. We also have a few of the other buildings here which have had some pretty major changes, including those guilds up on the top left. We see the guilds up there actually used to be pretty strange looking, I have to say. I wouldn't really say they look too much like guilds, whereas what we have now I definitely think looks more like a training center, somewhere you would send your villagers to actually learn about the skill they are leveling up. So if you guys jump on over to Google and you want to find some of the earliest Everdale art, what you can simply do is type in Everdale concept art or Valleys and Villages. This is going to bring up a lot of screenshots and things that you can actually check out. I've done my best to compile all of this so I can showcase it in this video, but what I was able to locate when doing this with some stuff that actually has not been released yet in the game. Now, I don't know if this was stuff that was planned on being released or stuff that we might actually see in the future, but let's dive into them. So one thing I was able to find when searching for concept art for Everdale was actually these house skins right here. Now, we don't really have any of these specific skins in the game, which really interested me, because have I potentially stumbled across something we might see in the future of the game? If so, that's awesome, because I really genuinely like a lot of these house skins. The issue now is the actual structure of the house has changed quite a lot from when it was like this to when it was like this. Now, that's one of the things I think we're going to have to keep in mind when looking at these house skins, but honestly, I really like the look of a lot of these. I especially like the kind of wooden hut ones that look more like you're kind of camping in a forest or something like that. I think they're absolutely awesome. And of course, more skins in the game would absolutely be awesome. It gives each user a little bit more personality, a little bit more customizability of their village, and I think that would be absolutely awesome. So something else I did uncover was these artworks right here. Now, actually, we do have some of these in the game, and they did come in that recent Mariner event. We also have a few of the other ones just as generic decorations. However, there is a large portion of them that are not currently in the game. Now, a lot of these look like they might have been for a kind of Chinese New Year event, something like that, but sadly we haven't had anything like that implemented in the game, so a lot of these decorations potentially might be waiting for that specific event. So the last thing I was able to locate that I haven't really seen in the game was these costumes right here. They were over on one of the designers that designed some of the Everdale artwork over on their art station. I was able to find this, and I think these are pretty cool outfits. We don't really have them in the game, and like I said, any more decorations, any more outfits, any more skins is really cool to implement in Everdale, and I'm always really happy to see it. This is all I've been able to find as far as kind of hidden things for Everdale, but if you guys are able to locate anything else, always let me know either in my Discord server or over on Twitter. And one of the last things I did want to take a look at was this picture right here, which Everdale actually released on their socials as well as on the Reddit. So this was personally released by the Supercell team, and it showed us a little bit of an insight into the design aspect of Bird Dog Spirit. It's really cool. I have to say, I loved seeing the way things are designed, the way they kind of come up with concepts and ideas. I actually wish they would show us a little bit more behind the scenes of how things are made, how they come up with character ideas, stuff like that, because I think the community could definitely get a little bit more involved. We've always got loads of ideas, and sometimes I wish Supercell would just take a little bit more notice of those ideas. Now, sadly, I didn't actually get the chance to play Valleys and Villages myself. It's something I really wish I was able to do, but I wasn't able to stumble across the game until it actually came out as Everdale, because as soon as I saw it was a Supercell game, of course, I jumped on it, as well as a lot of the other members of the Everdale community, because Supercell is such a well-known name, everyone always tends to play their games. But if you guys didn't know, for those who did play Valleys and Villages, they were able to get a little decoration in their village that no one else can get, and that is this statue you can see on the screen right here. You're able to get that statue if you did play Valleys and Villages. You were also able to carry the worth of your account in gems from V&V over to Everdale to give you a little bit of a head start. So that's why you might have seen some of the players' early days shoot up really quickly, because they had loads of gems they were basically given for free for working hard on that previous alpha version of the game. But that does bring me to the end of this video. Like I said, sadly I didn't actually play Valleys and Villages, so there probably was a few other changes that I have missed, but if you guys did play it yourselves and you think there are some major changes that I did miss, definitely let me know down in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear it. So it's not just visual and art changes, there might have been some actual mechanics of the game that have changed that I did not know about. But that does bring me to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this little bit of a different kind of video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.